Hello everyone, I'm Grace Hayden and this is Chris Stubbs, and we're ready and raring to go for round one of the Shannons Speed Series for the LIQUI MOLY GT Festival right here in Phillip Island.
That's it, it's time to go racing again, and there's no better location to do it. We're 140 kilometres southeast of Melbourne. This is where speed meets the sea.
Wild weather, wildlife and wild racing all combining to the one to create the island mecca of motorsport.
It is high speed, it's high risk, but it's high reward for those that are willing to roll the dice. And we've got 5 thrilling categories this weekend featuring some of the biggest names in Australian motorsport in some of the most exotic machinery in the world.
In an absolutely iconic location, the perfect way to launch a brand new season.
Grace Stubbsy, racing on Phillip Island itself dates back nearly a century, and here, what we now know as the 4.4K Grand Prix circuit, they will celebrate 70 years of action here in December. Nick Percat knows this place all too well. Awesome view down the Gardner Straight, not much time to take it in.
There's no time. Turn 1 is maximum commitment. GT3 car with a headwind like this, there's no brake. She's a lift off the throttle, 240k an hour apex speed. It's just maximum commitment in a GT3 car.
This is turn 4, affectionately known as Honda for so many years, but renamed Miller Corner in 2022 after our Grand Prix winner, Jack Miller. Big break on the way in. What else are we looking for here?
Passing. This is I would say the #1 passing spot. Like you said, massive brakes, probably 6th gear, down to 2nd. This is where we're going to see the action, especially at race starts, cold tyres, easy to run wide and easy to get the job done.
There's more rise than you realise through 8 all the way here to LIQUI Heights. What's it like in quali and race trim, and are you kind of, committed to one line?
100%. Over LIQUI Heights, you need to be on the left-hand apex curve as you approach, and as the car gets light over the hill, it wants to wash wide, it wants to push you to the right-hand side of the track, but GT3 car, big aero, it sucks you to the ground, especially light fuel and qualifying. But in the race, when you're following with the dirty air, it does get a lot of aero wash, so very difficult to follow through here come race day.
I tend to think of the final corner a bit like a lure. You must want to get on it nice and early. And does it start all the way back there at MG Corner?
100%. Starts at MG Corner. The runoff there actually makes a lot of lap time. And then you get to the final corner, your 5th gear, you're in a beautiful GT3 car and you have to keep it absolutely flat to the board. So the final corner is like no other. Flat GT3 car, and you come onto the front straight, you've got the beautiful Melbourne signs and the ocean, and you've completed a perfect lap of Phillip Island.
There you go. A quick look at the island, a legendary place for a season opening showcase of some of the best 4-wheel categories in the country.
There is nothing quite like it. The sun, the feeling of a feature race, GT World Challenge Australia will begin at the iconic Phillip Island, a season opener like no other, and like no other weather that we saw yesterday, Rusty. It's completely fresh for everybody.
It's great today, isn't it, Charlie? So GT World Challenge Australia, powered by AWS, getting set for an hour of competition here. 2nd race of a brand new championship. So behind us are the BMW safety car and race control cars, our official partner for the series. And we've got the fans on the grid. Really cool moment as we get to in the build up to the race start proper, get them nice and close to the cars, to the drivers and so on. And that is the thing about SRO, the Stefan Rattel organisation, as we know it, which are behind GT racing globally. They're in the United States, Europe and more. This is our Aussie version of that, and what a field we've assembled for the 2026 season.
And it's something that fans really enjoy, Rusty, but of course the drivers as well. They really enjoy the fans up and close with their beautiful vehicles, or the manufacturers represented on this grid. It's their time to get out there, meet with their fans, take those all-important photos and soak up the vibes before they go straight into race mode.
How about we do that? Why don't we wander down through the grid, and we'll take our cameraman with us. Big thank you to all the marshals and officials from Motorsport Australia, our volunteers that have braved the conditions that Charlie talked about yesterday to make sure that we have a fantastic race meeting here this weekend. So we'll wander through the crowd. Thank you. Got fans that have come from all around the country here. Grid is starting to take shape here. Let's wander over. I think Elliot Schute's over here, isn't he? So can we dive in here and have a little word with you? Thank you, just to get the okay from the team with Jackson Evans again for this one. How are you feeling about Sunday?
Yeah, feeling really good. I think we'll be in a good spot with no success penalty, and Jackson will hopefully deliver me the car in first. So it should be an easy weekend.
2025 was a toughie for you in so many ways, mate. It's so great that you've been able to park that. Just tell us about that and how you've kind of reset for season 26.
Yeah, it was a tough end, but I think that's motivated me to do my best this year, and it's, you know, I'm happy to be back, so I'm just grateful to be here.
Great stuff. Final question for you. Obviously very different conditions today compared to what we had for Saturday. Is this car, is this crew, you feel like in the warmth that we now have here at Phillip Island, in good shape?
Yeah, the car's really good in the dry and clean air. I think I didn't get to feel it yesterday, but I'm looking forward to driving the car in the dry.
Cool, we'll leave you to it. Thank you for talking with us. I think we're going to wander down here. Charlie, who have you got over there?
I did a quick chat with Paul Lucidi. Of course, Jano Jada popped it on pole for you guys. Very, very different conditions facing you both.
Yeah, today it's great to see the sunshine. We know the car's fast in these conditions, and Juice is obviously fast, so hopefully he gets a clean start, and yeah, gives me the car in P1 would be nice, and see how we go.
And it's great that you guys get to continue this driver lineup, this combo you've done for several seasons now. So you both really understand what you both need from the car, and that transfer of knowledge as well.
Yeah, no, obviously as you get to know each other more, the left hand knows what the right hand's doing, and yeah, and he's been teaching me so much, as brought my driving up, and it's great fun. Yeah.
And of course, getting to immerse yourself in the sun and the fans is a pretty cool way to start a race.
Yeah, no, it's amazing to see all the people there that are here and supporting the category. So it's yeah, great.
Smiling drivers, Rusty, is what we like to see.
I think we might try to have a word with his boss, in Nathan Tagani, who's over here, and he's got some sort of crazy shirt going on. I don't know what that's about. Jaden O'Jade's there as well. Can we venture in here? You're going to hate me, aren't you? What is this about? Have you lost a little bet or something?
Yeah, I stupidly agreed to a pole award shirt for myself, which seems like, yeah, was a funny idea at the time, but it's round one and I'm already wearing it, so terrible idea on my part.
Let's talk positives here. Your crew have, and the off-season work that has gone into this, clearly evident at round one. In so many ways, you must be pleased.
Yeah, it's just amazing. Like, we have such an amazing core group of people, and we're constantly building, constantly growing, and it's showing. We've got an amazing group of drivers, and you know, we've trended from, you know, customer satisfaction now to just constant overall performance, so it's great.
What's the key on Sunday, do you reckon? Because it is clear to us, we love this class, we love the competition, but it's ramped up for 2026, hasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Qualifying is pivotal, so we've got one car on the front row and another car just behind it. So it's get a good start and bring it home strong for the AMs, and then let them deal with it from there.
All right, for the avoidance of doubt, that is his wardrobe, not mine. Charlie, to you.
Thanks, Rusty. Talking about wardrobe, Alex Peroni is having to sport something a little bit, I guess, not a race suit this weekend, because, of course, you aren't able to participate with Mark Rosser. Thomas Randall has stepped in for you. Unfortunate accident for you, but you say that you're no longer in pain, you're on the mend.
Yeah, not exactly what I expected for the start of the year. Yeah, big part of training is cycling and doing cardio, but unfortunately sometimes crash that like a car as well, which is what happened to me. But no, on the mend. It's good to see Mark with Tommy Randall is doing well. Podium yesterday, so yeah, let's see how they go today. But for myself, just focusing on recovery and hopefully in for round two.
Well, that'd be fantastic to see. Of course, a podium for you, as you just mentioned, but hopefully we'll see you back at the bend, yeah?
Sounds good, yeah, that's the plan.
See you there. To Stubbsy.
Charlie, thank you. A man who also should be out on the grid is Jordan Love. Jordan, detailed for those at home that aren't aware, why aren't you out here racing today?
Yeah, Shane and Steve and I aren't out on the grid, but sometimes life takes priority, and Steve's busy with work commitments and life outside of racing, which is completely fine. So yeah, a little bit of a shame, but that's how it goes sometimes. So just here supporting and coaching a young kid, Hayden Hokel, in Porsche Sprint Challenge. So yeah, still keeping busy.
Well, Hayden's done a great job, so you might have found a new career. It's not time for that yet, because you've got plenty to still achieve, obviously, in your racing. How have you found it, though, putting on a different hat this weekend and just having to sit on the sidelines?
Yeah, it was definitely not more enjoyable, I'll tell you that much. But no, it is good. You know, obviously, you're still always learning other stuff from being on the other side of it, and yeah, always putting my best foot forward, helping others is always great fun. So
we'll see you at the bend.
Absolutely, I hope so. So
thanks, mate.
Cheers.
Russell.
Thanks, guys.
Just over your shoulder, Stubbsy, is a stealth black and day glow yellow Mercedes AMG, and it's piloted by a Kiwi in Brendan Leach, and alongside him is a guy who we've been super impressed with this weekend, because Sergio, you have absolutely taken a step in season 26. That's evident. Tell us about that and how you're feeling heading into this one.
Feeling good. Happy that the blue skies are out, and all Brendan's help with these pro tips have come out and improved the speed. So looking forward to today. I'm sure he'll give me the car in a good spot, and hopefully I can take the win.
There were a couple little battle scars that you had to contend with yesterday, but you did a great job bringing it through to the field, you know, and in a solid result at the end.
Yeah, absolutely, Rusty. It was just damage limitation. Serge got caught out with the stupid rain early on in the race, so to get fourth, it was like I said earlier, it was a really good bad day, and yeah, I'm excited today. I've got my sunblock on and I'm ready to go.
Okay, well done. Thank you, boys. Good luck. Let's go to Charlie.
Thanks, Rusty. I'll just hop on down and chat to Will Davison. Of course, you're starting the race today, sir. Comfortable with your weekend so far?
Hey, Charlie. Yeah, it's been thrown in the deep end a bit, so just bit by bit, we're just progressing every session, starting to learn what switches are what, just getting comfortable working with Renee, and obviously we've had intimate conditions, a lot of rain. So I haven't really had a proper crack at it in the dry. I've had a few runs on high fuel on Friday. So yeah, it's a good starting spot now. You know, Renee was obviously taken out at the start of yesterday's race, so we're a little bit wounded. But hopefully I can just get off to a good start, settle in for a nice stint, learn more about this car, and hand her over a good straight car in a good position so she can really get stuck in to finish the race.
Thanks, Will. Go well.
Thank you.
Over to Stubbsy.
Thank you. I'm a little bit further back. It's a packed grid out here. The fans are just being asked to clear off. We're on the next row back where we've found Brock Feeney. Plenty of people out here wanting an autograph, of course, with you. Yesterday was pretty good. What do you make it today?
Yeah, looking forward to it. Sun's shining, a lot better weather here today at Phillip Island, so looking forward to it. Off fifth, we have the success penalty of 15 seconds today. So anyway, we'll just try and have a clean first run. Brad's obviously been super quick this weekend, so we probably need a safety car in the later half of the race. But yeah, we've made some changes overnight. Keen to see how we go today.
So from a race win yesterday to lining up alongside Ryan Wood, people that understand supercars will know there's a little bit of history there and are interested to see the two of you go down into turn one. What are you thinking?
Yeah, we're just here to go racing, mate. So got another 15 guys that I'm racing against, and obviously 4 cars in front of me that I want to try and pass. So looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Keen to see what we got.
Well answered. Always the pro. Go well.
Thanks, Stubbsy.
Just a little bit further down the order, I thought we'd have a quick word with Paul Stokel here as well, who's just getting his helmet on, getting ready to step behind the wheel of the Audi. You're looking forward to this again?
Oh, mate, I always look forward to it. Look at the weather down at Phillip Island. It's an awesome place to be.
You've had a little kind of change in a business sense in the last sort of 12 months or thereabout, and you're re-energised about your racing again, aren't you?
I am. Look, I love racing, and I love racing GT cars. They're an amazing car. Like growing up in open wheeler cars with lots of downforce, the GT cars very similar. So it brings me back to my roots, and I really enjoy it. And
in a class sense, mate, you both as a combo are good, aren't you?
Yeah, we are. I think it's a good combination. So I'm hoping, long term we can bring it home. And it's a long year, but at the moment every track's different for every car. So we're hoping the Audi will come good at some stage during the year.
Cool. You want to put your balaclava on here very quickly. What is the play in this one? The plan for you?
Look, I've just got to bring it back in one piece. We'll try and stay where we are as far as track position. Look, we're not racing the Pro-Am boys, we're racing the Trophy boys, and Luke's obviously our nearest competition, so I've got to try and stay in front of him and hand it over to Matt Stupas to do the job on the way home.
Good on you, thank you.
Cheers.
Well, I've just been told I have to yell at Valentino Astudi. He's on the row in front of Stokel. One of the drives of the day yesterday, mate. An outstanding effort. Well done.
Thank you. Yeah, it was tough pressure from Davison. He knows what he's doing behind the wheel. But it was a really good battle. I just kept my cool. He got me towards the end, into MG. But as you do, we'll get used to it. We'll press on for today.
Great job. Go well.
Thank you.
Charlie.
Thanks, Stubbsy. Thought I'd grab Thomas Randall before he hops in. One podium yesterday. How about we go again today?
That's a good idea. I've made work harder than it needs to be today. So, we're starting 8th. Mark did a great job yesterday after getting turned around, and to get a podium on debut with Mark here in our Castrol machine was awesome. So weather's looking really nice. Hopefully we can have a good run. I'm sure I look really weird right now with half a helmet on. I'm going to pull it down. I'm going to pull it down and we'll keep going.
Go. No, you look fine no matter what. Don't worry about that, Thomas Randall. But as you say, completely different conditions today. So it's all about just getting up as quickly as you can.
Yeah, we've got Woody and Feeney in front of me. That's going to be, I'm sure, pretty intense.
So we'll see what those boys do. I might just sit back and eat some popcorn, but no, it'll be a fun couple of laps, and hopefully hand it over to Mark and he can have a brilliant stint and we can just collect some good points.
Have a great race. Thanks, Thomas.
Thanks, Charlie.
Rusty?
Just one grid space further back, and that is with Oscar Target, who did an amazing job with us in a commentary sense this morning for Porsche. But you switch into Merc mode now, get the helmet on and so on. How you feeling about this one?
Yeah, it's couldn't quite hear you. There's someone in my radio, but yeah, excited for this race. It'll be good to start my first GT World Challenge race actually starting. So rolling start, something a bit different for me, something I haven't done since karting. So yeah, it'll be interesting.
We'll let you focus on that. So he's going to get set for a rolling start. Should also spot it on the grid too. Welcome Alessio Girardi, Lamborghini Squadra Corsa Asia Pacific boss, who's jetted in from Singapore as well and was down with Adrian Dietz and Tony D'Alberto. Let's take you to commentary. Here's Richard Craill.
Thank you, Rusty. Looking forward to this one. There's so many storylines already unfolding in the GT World Challenge Australia, powered by AWS Paddock. After a packed grid walk, we are ready for 1 hour's worth of battle with the fastest GT3 cars in the land. Joined by Nick Percat, as always, upstairs here. The scene is set. There's so many parts to race 2 of a weekend in World Challenge. If you're new to the category, the pros start, Nick, but the AM drivers bring it home. All the responsibility is onto the part-time drivers. So this race often bubbles along at the start, and then it explodes at the end when the AMs get behind the wheel.
100%. It's going to be a great watch come the end. Obviously, the thing with when the AMs get in the car, there is a little bit of lap time difference between, the group of them. So we might see the Ojeda car. He's been very, very fast. He might be able to get a little bit of a margin, but when all the AMs start getting in, we've got some very quick AM drivers, especially in car 1. Brad has been very quick all weekend. But to be honest, the 66 Move My Wheels Mercedes has been fast in the hands of both drivers. So it's going to be... I'm not sure which way to look, to be honest, of who's going to come through, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I understand. There's so much to unpick. And in fact, from yesterday as well, it was a great way to start the weekend here at Phillip Island with these cars. And it was really picking up from where we left off at the end of a very competitive 2025 championship with the title contenders doing battle at the front of the field. It's just on 21 degrees now. Beautiful conditions here at Phillip Island. Really gentle breeze, but nothing that's going to affect these cars. And it is one of the great racetracks in the world. That's the view looking out over the Southern Loop, down towards Stoner Corner at Turn 3. And then the big stop into Turn 4, the hairpin, which is one of the key overtaking opportunities. And here it is, thanks to Track Racer Simulation. Get your Track Racer Sim and cut some laps to the Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit. I think Nick did a mid-27 in a GT3 car on the sim here at the circuit earlier. So see if you can beat that lap time. That is the circuit though. Average lap speed over 180 kilometres an hour in one of these cars. The race lap record is a 1 minute 25.59. Was set by Brendan Leach 2 years ago. Track was relatively fresh from resurfacing at that point, but we have seen lap records fall in a couple of categories in these perfect conditions today. So that's the scenario, and in the box seat sits car number 66 with Jaden Ojeda and Paul Lucitti, who qualified on pole position. Jaden has his Premier Racing Supercars engineer Andrew Gilliam here this weekend as well on the headsets, one of several doing that, so that engineering bond continues. He said, I was rapt to get him our first pole working together. Now they want to do the job. And they're in a really good position because they have no pit stop penalty time from yesterday. So they're in good place.
100%, and that's one thing to keep an eye out. For the viewers at home, it's they are literally in the box seat. First off, Jaden Ojeda, factory Mercedes-AMG GT3 driver at the wheel, coming off the front row, very fast, but his co-driver with Paul, he's been exceptional. He's been a bit of a standout in the AM field. Unlucky yesterday, so we haven't got to see what he can do over a race distance, but the one lap speed has been really, really good. And yeah, I think those pit stops, obviously, that's where it spices things up. We're going to obviously watch the Feeney car have to claw back all that time that they lose with their great result yesterday. And that's why we have this style of racing. It gives the AM a very good opportunity to showcase what they can do too.
Well, we talked about them having the pressure in this race. If you followed the championship last year at the Ben Motorsport Park in South Australia, it was Paul Lucitti leading at the end under searing pressure from some of the best AM drivers in the country, and he managed to hold on. He clung on by his fingernails to win an absolute thriller. He fended off Steve Brooks in a really close race with Brad Schumacher chasing them home. So two really accomplished GT drivers. That was his first win in a sprint race version, at least, of GT World Challenge Australia with Jayden Ojeda. So he's ticked the box before. He knows he can do it. And another fast-flowing circuit, much like the Bend here at Phillip Island, as the field sets off behind the BMW M safety car. The other story as well is Jackson Evans and Elliott Shute. They too missed out on a podium yesterday, so they've got an opportunity to capitalise on the longer pit stop times for the drivers around them. So the grid, it has Ojeda following an excellent qualifying performance yesterday to set the grid for this race in front of Evans. Brendan Leach and Will Davison next off the second row. That's going to be good fun to watch Will in the early stages of this one. The Audis next. Yes, Brock Feeney and Ryan Wood are starting alongside each other. As Thomas Randall said, get the popcorn out. He starts alongside Josh Buchan on row 4. Oscar Target out of 9. Valentino Astudi out of 10. Paul Stokel on top in the trophy class entries, just in front of Luke Youlden, who was mighty yesterday. Wall Racing, they said they're struggling a little bit with the Lambo this weekend in terms of just raw speed, but Tony D'Alberto starts this one from 14th and will pass some cars. Volante Rosso cars out of 13th and 15th. The damage to the McLaren yesterday, Jeff Emery found the fence on the exit of the final corner, mainly superficial at the end. That car is all good to go. Great to have McLaren back in the championship. Got great heritage in Australian GT racing. So 1 hour of racing on a perfect Sunday. And how about these weather conditions?
I was about to mention, I'm excited to see the lap speed of these cars. Obviously, a new tyre on the car at the moment. They are a little bit heavier in fuel than what the AM has at the end of the race, but the perfect conditions for a GT3, especially around the beautiful Phillip Island.
Naturally aspirated 6.2 litre V8 in the Mercedes AMG, alongside turbocharged V6 power, the mid-mounted engine of the Ferrari 296 GT3, which has been incredibly successful in this iteration of Ferrari's customer racing product. And another Merc with Brendan Leach and another Ferrari with Will Davison just behind. Excited to see what Will Davo's got in dry conditions in a GT3 car. He's enjoying this new phase of his career, post full-time supercars, given an opportunity to drive some really cool racing cars. So the scene is set. All the contenders are racked and stacked and ready to go in the second race of GT World Challenge Australia, powered by AWS at the Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit. Is now underway, and it's a really good start from Ojeda. All the talk of the Mercedes AMG, drags it in front of Jackson Evans immediately and pulls across to take the race lead. 3 wide behind, big move, sweeping around the outside, contact there, Ryan Wood, he's going to end up in the gravel trap. He made an awesome launch, and he sent around the outside, hip and shouldered off the road. Will Davison in there as well, spinning around as Josh Hunt in the McLaren. Once again, turn 1 causing dramas.
Yep, there's going to be a bit to unpack there. We spoke before the race, Feeney v Wood. I know they're still side by side into turn 1, but we'll wait to see the replay there. Everyone else gets down to turn 4 nicely. No jostling, everyone's a little bit calmer than turn 1.
Feeney gets ground, Randall gets ground, Astudi gets ground, with some of the key contenders off the road early in this one. And we're going to go safety car early for that contact down at turn 1. And the race just gets push pause. So the safety car hadn't even had an opportunity to get back to pit lane. And that's why it's the McLaren. So Josh Hunt has been already dragged out by the Ranger Raptor recovery vehicle. Wow, those guys were quick on the scene.
Yeah.
Following the field down to turn 1.
He's tipped it into turn 1 at warp speed in the Raptor.
Yes, well, very capable vehicle, the mighty Ranger Raptor. Outstanding. So that's good to go. It shouldn't be too long before we go back to racing. Let's have a look at what happened. Keep your eye in the middle of the field and watch for Ryan Wood sounding around the outside.
So Davo's had his own massive moment in the dirty air with the aero. Big snap, saved it.
And it was Wood and contact with Brendan Leach.
Yes.
Was those two cars making contact that helped the Wolfbrook Audi off the road.
So a headliner Feeney Wood, it wasn't actually Brock.
Yes, yes, correct. No, it was the Mercedes AMG instead. And then this down at 4. Off the road. Josh Buchan in the background. The exit of turn 3.
That's rare to see a car driving through that particular gravel trap at Phillip Island.
And hairy as well. Huge rate of knots heading downhill as well.
She's an expensive grader of the, the sand trap.
100 grand plus for a front clip on a Ferrari 296 GT3. Fortunately, that one is all good. Cameron Campbell to jump in that car with Josh Buchan, the double TCR champ, in the back half of this race. So a very brief safety car will be in at the end of this lap, and we'll go back to racing. But wow, there's a lot to unpick at that start there.
The Wood car just has so much speed. Hasn't got through turn 1 twice now, so we'll see what Ryan can do. Obviously through the duration of this stint. Thankfully he didn't spin, there'll be no flat spotted tyres. But he's just a little bit out of position. But the one thing with Woody, we know, like we saw then, he will send it around the outside. And most of the time in his young career, it sticks.
And it looked like, had it not been for the contact, and I'm not putting any blame on anyone, but it may well have stuck. So keep an eye, he's on the inside row, right there, the flush of gold of the Wolfbrook Audi. That's the car we need to watch as they run down. Leach is on the right, he's got the fluoro yellow. Sailing around the outside there, there's the contact. Right there is where it feeds the Audi off the road.
And that was all just because they all actually drove it in so hard to turn 1. 99% of the field had a massive snap of oversteer and it just carted him wide. And you're right though, if he didn't have the minor contact, he would have popped out in 3rd.
I'm just looking at Will Davison, so that happened all on his own. As Wood went around the outside of Leach, Davison sort of moved across a little bit to the left and it just unloaded the only-fence Ferrari as it tipped in. This is looking across from turn 2.
Yeah, Wilbur's had his own issues, but like I said, that all of them at the front, as they got to the apex, there's a big head shake through the cars and a lot of opposite locks. So they've driven him in extremely hard there, and it doesn't surprise me with someone like Jaden Ojeda leading them down there. He is an ultimate professional and he's going to drive it in quite hard.
I'm not sure at the start of a race like that also what Leach could have done differently either in that. So just be one of those turn 1 things. Regardless, the BMW safety car pulls away from the field. Jaden Ojeda has another opportunity to lead Jackson Evans, the very fast Kiwi, to the line with Leach in 3rd. Brock Feeney up to 4th, and Thomas Randall, the Castrol Team BRM car. I spoke to his engineer Marcus Koch before this race. He said, yeah, qualifying didn't work, so we're handicapped a little bit starting so far back. We need to make ground early to give ourselves a shot at a result in this race. Well, there's a tick.
Yep, sounds to me that he wants Thomas to pass, so I'm all for it.
Away we go again, back underway. 48 minutes on the clock, GT World Challenge. It's a sweet sounding field. Studi having a look up the inside of Randall there at turn 1. The dark green Audi having a look up the inside of the Castrol car, couldn't quite get there. And Brock Feeney launched off of 1 and had half a look at Brendan Leach into the southern loop. To be guaranteed the Shaw and Partners Kelso Electrical Audi is going to be pretty rapid with Brock Feeney behind the wheel.
He said to me last night he'd actually tried to manage his tyres maybe a little bit more than they needed for a bit of safety, so we actually don't know the true potential of car 1 over the run. So we'll have to be interested to see how that plays out, but everyone's kept it.
It was pretty telling though that on the final lap when he was coming under a little bit of pressure from target, he just casually punched out a personal best first sector time. Just as a little reminder that no, I've got this, it's all good.
Exactly. Everyone's been well behaved on this restart, which is nice.
Yeah, teams have been on the radio putting some fear into their drivers to make sure they actually get to the pit stop. Ojeda pulling out a couple of car lengths in front. Ryan Wood has already made some ground. Will Davison following him. He's going side by side there, looking to work his way past. I think it might have been Alex Gardner in there in the Valente Rosso Aston Martin AMR GT3. So Ojeda flushes across the line in the Tigani AMG at a 1 minute 28.5, and his margins just over 0.8 of a second over the ARGT Ferrari. And then the second of the Tigani cars is next for Guy Valmont Racing with Brendan Leach.
The Leach just had a massive snap of oversteer through the mid to exit of turn 1, 240k an hour, as you do. And Brendan, he wouldn't even phase him.
Wouldn't even know it happened. I enjoyed his comment on the grid that he's got the sunblock out. We'll clarify that by saying he's from Invercargill at the very bottom of the South Island in beautiful New Zealand. So for him, this is a baking hot summer's day. But he'll be enjoying the heat. He's got Brock Feeney behind him, Randall clinging onto them as well. And Valentino Astudi, who's been a standout performer so far this weekend in that Team MPC run Audi R8, is just a little bit further back, and he's got Oscar Target keeping him busy. Then it's Tony D'Alberto for Wall Racing in the Lambo. Ryan Wood and Paul Stokel next. So Ryan Wood's up to 9th place, Will Davison 11th. After their offs down at turn 1, they've had an opportunity to gather themselves and start to work their way through the field.
It's one thing I'm noticing this year that all the front drivers, the pros, they're actually driving them more often. And now there's not as much of a disparity in lap time. You know, a few years ago you'd see Chaz jump in it and drive the wheels up and go to the front because he had a little bit more experience. It feels like now that all these front pro guys, they're so even. Doesn't matter what car they get in. So it's going to be difficult for Wood to climb his way back, or Feeney just to get to the lead and drive off like we've seen in the past.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit like supercars, isn't it? That they're all within a couple of tenths of each other, and it makes it very difficult to make your way through the field. You could be massively fast, but when the guy in front of you is also massively fast, it's hard to pass. It shows you the quality of the drivers. I always love it when the internationals come and play down here, whether it's at the Maguire's Bathurst 12-hour in GT World Challenge Australia, and just proves the level that the domestic field is at now. And you're right, the extra seat time they're starting to get, I think, is really helping that cause as well. The comment from the supercar guys when they'd rock up at Bathurst with the 12-hour each year was like, I can get to them by the end of the weekend in terms of one lap speed, but the Euros come out. Because they're in a car 20 weekends a year, if not more, they can switch it on from lap 1. But the more and more they drive them, the quicker and quicker they get, and they can get up to speed quicker as well.
100%. It's like the Euro guys, they don't care what track they're at. They drive Nürburgring, they drive Spa, they go to Bathurst, and it's just another track to them. So for us, you know, we have the history, and there's the element of speed and fear there, so we probably build up to it where they just come out and go, this is how you do it, boys.
Wait, replay. Oh, Will Davison. Little hallmark of his touring car career there. Little flashback with some elbows out on Paul Stokel going side by side down at MG.
And it looked like the left front wheel had a...
Yeah, he's had to come into pit lane as a result.
A little bit of damage there, so maybe some steering damage for Will Davison.
It's been a tough race for them. Talking to both he and Renee last night, that just learning that car and getting up to speed with the Ferrari. For Renee, it's been a big shift across from the Audi R8 that she's been driving for the last 3 seasons essentially now in GT World Challenge Oz. For Will Davison, it's getting used to a very different style of racing between this and the supercars he's used to. Supercars, everyone technically is exactly the same. In GT3 racing, it's the balance of performance model, so there's strengths and weaknesses of cars. They all do about the same lap time, but they produce their speed differently. And Will said to me last night, just trying to get my head around understanding how to utilise that and play to the Ferrari strengths relative to everyone else, and then make sure that where it might be slightly, I was going to say weaker, that's not the right word because they're not strong or weak, but slightly less capable than the cars around, playing to those strengths as well and making sure you hold your ground. So it's very interesting to get his take on adapting to a very different style of racing. Oh, the Aston Martin off the road. Alex Gardner
got away with that. Rare. Lukey Heights to be able just to trundle around the outside of the gravel trap is very fortunate.
The former Radical Cup champion. He's been with the Valente Rosso family for 4 or 5 years now. Big part of their junior program. Ojeda flying, 1.3 seconds to the good at the moment. Davison still in pit lane, by the way, so into the bottom of the issues for that car, a little bit further back.
This is the battle I wanted to see. Studi versus Wood. So we had Will Davison breathing down his neck for majority of the back end of the race last night, and now he has, I'm going to say, a slightly more excited and energized, less patient.
Yes,
Ryan Wood.
You're allowed to say that. You're still racing him.
Yeah.
No, I like it. He will be fired up. Yeah, and Valentino said after the race, it's like, well, I mean, it was pretty cool having Will Davison behind me with everything he's achieved in his remarkable supercars career. Almost 2 decades full-time professional race car driver. Young Valentino, a little bit of racing here and there, some time in Formula Ford racing, occasional GT appearances, but hasn't had the safety net of a full-time ride for a long, long time. So for a young guy, this is a great opportunity. And then to strut your stuff against someone the caliber of Ryan Wood.
He's going to have his eyes wide open. So hopefully his engineer and everyone on the radio is just telling him, eyes forward. He actually has the speed to maintain position here. It's about just hitting your marks, not getting too distracted that you've got Ryan Wood breathing down your neck. So he'll go about it 2 ways. He's either going to battle royale this for fun and he'll have a big smile, or he's going to let him go easy and follow him.
He'll hand the Audi over to Darren Curry.
He has chosen the Royale.
He has. Good for us. Darren Curry will be watching on from pit lane with this. Darren's been in the category and racing this style of cars for a long time, often with his good mate Axel Donaldson too. Good to see them continuing to race, and this fascinating combination running in the Pro-Am class as well. So they're 2 guys racing with some really elite level, both Pro and Am spec drivers in this category.
And it's amazing what he would have learnt last night from Will and the battle there is he said to me, Nick, I can't believe it. Every time Will went narrow of me in the high-speed corners, so showed the nose or got really close to my rear bar, it took the aero off the back of the car. So he's now experienced that on a Saturday, and I see the way he's positioning the car. He's not giving Wood the opportunity to get inside of him and basically remove some rear downforce. So that's a really good play by a young driver that he's recognised it, and now he's using it to his defence, because if he turns a little bit early, Ryan Wood can't get the clean air on his splitter, and he has a bit of understeer.
Just explain that feeling for those that might not have driven an aero car like this. So what does it feel like when you lose that aero? What are you doing behind the wheel?
Basically, it's like the grip disconnects. It's hard to explain. You think the car's going to be landing in a certain spot with its grip. Is he going to defend again? Let's let this play out.
Down the inside this time.
He's going to run around the outside, use this extra bit of bitumen, I reckon, and he'll be inside for Siberia. Nah, Ryan probably gave him a little bit of a squeeze, but what it feels like is it's just a complete loss of grip. So, you know, you load the car up at 240k an hour, and then someone comes along and feels like they just give you a little shove in the back of the car, and it has a snap, and that's something he'd never experienced before. So it was great for him to have that battle with Will yesterday, and it probably helped him survive another couple laps against Woody.
The dark arts of aero in motorsport, and how the wind can affect a car, and another car in that close proximity can change the way it behaves. And see that so apparently in NASCAR racing with on the super speedways, the way they use and manage the draft there, similar sort of theory. Different output in top-level GT racing, and these cars do have a lot of aerodynamic downforce, a lot of aero grip through the high-speed corners. Car 71 and 15 at turn 2, so that's Luke Eildon and Josh Hunt on the opening lap of the race, being investigated by race control, or noted by race controls. To have a look at that again, see if there's any penalties required out of that. Let's go down to pit lane with more from Chris Stubbs.
Thank you, Rich. Well, speaking of lap 1, we of course saw Will Davison going off at turn 1. Renee, the car, parked up in the garage, day over by the looks.
Yes, it's very unfortunate. I think Will was trying to copy me through turn 1 yesterday. I warned him about that, but look, just unlucky. It's one of these weekends we haven't really caught a break. New team, new car, these things happen. We'll line it out and come back stronger, and I don't think this is going to get in the way of our progression. We're feeling really good about this year, and we can see the potential we have as a pairing, and we're staying positive.
That's it. Talk to us about being in a Ferrari at Phillip Island with Will Davison. So much you must take away from this weekend regardless.
Yeah, look, I've got no complaints. I'm really happy. This is exactly where I wanted to be at the end of last year, and I left last year on a real high, and I'm carrying that through. I know I've had a few hits, and the last round of New Zealand wasn't the best either. And I think for me, I just know what I'm capable of, and I'm really excited to see us progress.
All right, we look forward to seeing you in the next round. Thanks, Renee.
Thank you.
Rusty?
I'm a little further down the pit lane stubs here at Melbourne Performance Centre, but I'm with Darren Curry, and I thought it was a really good opportunity to chat with him, because that green Audi this weekend has been doing a super job, and this is a change of car for you. It's a very different kind of feel, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very different. Last minute deal, only happened on Wednesday morning, and turned up on Friday. First time I've seen the car and had a go. It's a really good thing, and young Val's doing a mega job out there in it, so looking forward to jumping in myself.
He is doing a terrific job. Good combo for you, but as you say, I mean, I think from recent history, it's been a Mercedes AMG. How different jumping in behind the wheel of the Audi?
Oh, it's so different. I love the Merc, but geez, the Audi's a bloody good car to drive. I'm enjoying the weekend, that's for sure.
You should be super happy. Nice work this weekend. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
He's a ripping guy, Darren Curry. Great to hear from him. What was a last-minute deal to get them on the grid this weekend. They're currently sitting in 8th position at the moment, only 12 seconds away from this car from Tigani that leads the way. So Ojeda by 2 seconds now. Leach is harassing Jackson Evans.
Harassing.
For second and third place. And in turn, he is being equally harassed by Brock Feeney, who sits in 4th place in that Audi. So this is a pretty energised battle. Thomas Randall just hanging on to the back of them at the moment as well, so he's not far out of this fight. And all we're watching now is everyone just positioning themselves in the best possible place for when the AM driver takes over the mandatory pit stop.
It's a hard battle, because the Ferrari probably seems like the all-rounder. Might not have the biggest top end, it might not have the most acceleration or torque, but it seems to be doing the lap time pretty consistently. And the Mercedes, we know, is a very comfortable car to drive. Big front engine, good straight line speed, but it can't quite get close enough to have a nibble at turn 4 here. And then the Audi we've known over the years, it's blisteringly fast through the corners, but probably doesn't quite have the legs in a straight line, and that's why we see at Bathurst those amazing onboards of Mies and stuff like that, and drivers of that caliber doing epic things across the top of the mountain. And in a race like that, you can strategize your way to being clear air, and at the moment Mercedes is stuck behind the Ferrari, and Feeney can't do anything about it either.
Oh, and Leach looking racy again. It's a little bit wide over the top at LIQUI Heights. Just to put the full stop on, excellent chat with Renee Gracie, and very up and about, I thought.
Yeah, it was very
despite
good.
being out of the race very early into this one with she and Will Davison. The next stop on the tour is Shell V-Power Motorsport Park at the Bend, and that has been a Ferrari track for the last 2 years. Last year, Jackson Evans and Elliott Shute won both races in the weekend there.
They did.
Which is really hard to do in GT World Challenge, because on the Sunday race, if you win Saturday, you're taking 15 seconds extra of pit stop time into it. So it has been a place where Ferrari have traditionally been very, very strong.
That makes this race all more important for Jackson Evans and his car, because obviously you want to bank very good points at the tracks that maybe aren't suiting what you've got. So maybe this is where the Mercedes need to make some hay while the sun shines, and you can see Leach is all over the back of this Ferrari, but I feel like his shot might be down at MG, but it's pretty easy to defend down there for Jackson. So it's going to be a big move, because I feel like Leach that's how he's wired, and I like it. It's all in, and that's why he's extremely good in a GT3 car.
Brendan spent a lot of time in Lamborghini racing. He was part of their semi-factory sort of squad racing internationally, and Squadra Courses and the One Make Lambo Championships and their GT3 program. Spent more time in Mercedes AMGs lately. He's got a very busy program, jetting around the world. GT car to sort of gun for hire.
Sounds tough.
It does, doesn't it? Hard life, but someone's got to do it. He's also dabbled a little bit, a bit of seat time in a supercar and an opportunities last year, and that's still maybe on the horizon as well. I feel like he'd be a pretty good guy to have in your car come the Bathurst 1000 at the end of the year. He's exciting to watch. Runs in the family too. Dad Barry runs a very cool business down in Invercargill in vehicle restorations, both road and race. And Can confirm Mum Marguerite cooks a pretty mean roast as well.
Handy.
Yeah. Good hospitality down there in Invercargill.
Ryan Woods is chipping away. He's actually we can't tell the speed of these cars behind Jackson, but he's the only one matching Ojeda. He's got a lot of clear air, a lot of making up to do, but it's a shame he didn't clear turn 1, because I feel like the race would have been really alive at the front, but we'll see him at that car, especially at the back end of this race.
Further investigation underway now at MG between car 181, that's Will Davison, and 24, that's the Paul Stokel Audi. So race control is going to have a look at that one too. It was the contact that removed the Ferrari from the race, which is a shame. The Porsche out too, so Luke Youlden only got the 1 lap underway after a really, really good drive yesterday and a win in the trophy class battle. So no Porsche GT3R in the fight at the moment. Charging our way towards the mandatory pit stop window. The trophy cars get 5 minutes first to stop, and then halfway through the window opens for the pros to pop in. And they'll try and extend as long as they can with the faster driver in the car. Extend the stint as long as possible, then make your mandatory stop, put the AM in for the back half, and that sprint to the flag.
And if we think these guys aren't pushing, pay close attention to this Mercedes-Benz AMG, the black and yellow one. I think out of the last 5 laps, he has had it full sideways through turn 1 in that dirty air. So if you think he's not trying to pass Jackson Evans, think again, because he is wringing the neck of it in the high speed and taking a lot of risk to try and stay close to get a run at him. But Jackson's not put a foot wrong. He's driving a brilliant race, and you know when you've got the clean air, you just hit your marks, keep it nice and smooth, and let the other guy really do something desperate.
Massive opportunity this year for Jackson Evans, having had the full-time ride in supercars. He's gone back to enduro mode, which sounds familiar, doesn't it? He'll be at Walkinshaw TWG racing this year in the Supra, which by the time they get to October, I think will be a very handy package. It's already pretty close to the mark, as you would expect. So great opportunity for Jackson, keeps himself sharp. He's also just done a deal to run an Audi in GT World Challenge Asia this year as well. So he'll be jetting around the world, full-time GT racing. Recently tied the knot at the start of the year too, did Jackson. So he's had a busy start to 2026. So his dad John and mum Deb here this weekend. Great racing heritage in that family, both with his dad John, who grew up barrelling around Ashburton in New South Wales with one Andrew McElrea, among others. But his mum, Deb Lester, was a race car driver of the Lester family in New Zealand. Jackson's cousin Jono Lester was a very successful GT driver.
If you weren't a racing car driver in this family, you've done something wrong.
Correct, exactly right. Exactly right. He's a great story. Came up through the ranks in one-make Porsche racing in Australia, Carrera Cup Oz champion. And he's been right at home in this ARGT battle as the trophy class cars make their mandatory stop. So heard from Paul Stokel at the start of the race here. Matt Stupas in the KFC car. Sharp new livery on that car this year. Looks good. Matty's going to jump in for the back half of this one.
It'd definitely be a fan favourite for the kids out there, I think. The KFC liveries are... Kids on the fence will
stop of choice as they drive home back to Melbourne tonight, potentially. So we're not far from that window opening for the pro cars, and then it becomes a battle of the teams. Remember, after yesterday's race, Brock Feeney and Brad Schumacher will serve 15 seconds more pit stop time than everyone else. 10 seconds more for Oscar Target and Shane Smolin, who are currently in 6th place on the road, and 5 for Thomas Randall and Mark Rosser. So the cars that are currently 1st, 2nd and 3rd, it's a straight out fight between them. No pit stop time for either of those 3. Oh, here we go. Side by side, Feeney on the outside. Only just set the quickest lap of the race for that car. And now he's going to go side by side again and potentially around the outside at Siberia. Big move, that, if he can make it. And Brendan Leach is good enough to hold on. But all of a sudden, the Audi looking really racy.
Oh, he drops a wheel on the edge of Siberia.
And you've been talking about the fact that the Guy Valmont car has been pretty lurid down there at turn 1. Maybe it's starting to prove a little costly for Leach. the door is open for Brock Feeney. Let's jump quickly into the lane with Charlie Barlow.
Thanks, Krause. Just the opportunity to have a quick chat to Steve Brooks before you jump in the car. It was a jet yesterday, but P6 was as fast as Ryan could get through the field. Very different conditions facing you today, though.
Yeah, no, look, it's much different conditions. Sun's out, so Ryan had a bit of a moment in turn one on this race. He's worked back through the pack, so he'll pass it over to me. And look, he's about to come in right now, so I'm just going to do my hardest and try and get on the podium.
Team told me I could only ask you one question before you jumped in, so you better get ready.
Okay, thanks very much. Cheers, thank you.
To Rusty.
I've just wandered into Melbourne Performance Centre just to double check with that change of the right rear tyre for the Stupa Stokel Audi, just to make sure there was nothing wrong with that tyre. It's totally fine. That is a precautionary decision that the team have made, given we're constantly turning left at this venue. Remember all that pressure down the right-hand side of the car, and some suggestion within that garage they may change both rear tyres on the car for Brock Feeney. We'll keep an eye on that when that car comes in.
Thanks, Rusty. Good intel. We have seen that in the past here, teams electing, they've got the time, electing to utilise the opportunity to put either rear tyres or the working side tyres, so tyres down the right-hand side of the cars. You're turning left so often here at the Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit, put some right-side tyres or the rear tyres, which gives you that drive off the corners.
It's such a high-speed track with massive load on the tyre. That's just a safety precaution. Obviously, the tyre can do the whole day, but they just keep it safe. They don't want to lose any points from a puncture or anything like that. So,
but also give your AM driver the best possible conditions to drive at the end, make them as comfortable as possible behind the wheel of the car for that final stint of the race, which isn't far away from commencing. Suspect they'll be in pit lane at the end of this lap. Leach has got a great run on Jackson Evans here. This is as close as the merge's been. Just tries to get the nose at turn one and maybe unsettle that aero. We've been talking about that throughout the race. It's got Feeney into this as well. Just dropped off the back after that moment at Siberia on the exit there. The run down to the hay shed when he had a couple of wheels off the road. Whoa, it's sliding around again, Brock Feeney. I think he's got right to the edge of what the tyre's doing at the moment.
Maybe he heard they're putting rears on it. He's using them.
Use them up. And Thomas Randall's close right up to the back of them as well. What a fight. Evans, Leach, Feeney, Randall. And Oscar Target's 4 seconds back. So Ryan Wood, Tony D'Alberto and Josh Hunt, the first of the Pro-Am cars to pit. So they've elected to come in early, these guys, to get that stop out the way and plug Steve Brooks in the car. So Brooksy will be up to speed when the others make their stop. He'll be the first one at full noise on Gardner Straight as others are rejoining. And we're about 10 seconds back from this battle pack, so don't quite have the track position. This is going to be an interesting back end to the race. James Marshall engineering this car this weekend. James Marshall Motorsport in New Zealand, and have a look at this quartet all peeling off into the lane quickly. And Brendan Leach has to take evasive action to avoid drilling the back of the Ferrari as they got down to the 40k/h speed limit. That was very, very close, and if there wasn't contact, I will be surprised.
I'm going to say he's used the ABS there.
It just dives across to the left-hand side.
Like I said, you can't say they're not trying.
They are trying hugely hard. I have to check the pit lane speed at that point too. They're covered off by the Ferrari in front. So the Castrol Team BRM car now, after third yesterday, they've got to be in pit lane 5 seconds longer than the cars that they've come in. So they were the fourth car in that queue from second, third, fourth and fifth. And they will be the last ones out. In the lane as well, Valentino Astudi and Josh Buchan too for Zagami Autosport. Rusty.
Driver change underway, so Brad Schumacher is already behind the wheel of the car that he shares with Brock Feeney. Brock is actively helping him ensure that he gets those belts done up nice and tight and that it's safe. Now, the team have done the working side of the car. Just to correct something I question marked there before, we thought it may have been the rears. They've done the working side, down that left-hand side of the car, that right-hand side of the car, I beg your pardon, because we're constantly turning left, as you boys said.
And great stops for everyone in that battle pack that have emerged. So they're basically, the status quo continues. So Elliott Shute takes over the Ferrari and emerges in front of the cars that we're battling with. So Sergio Perez now for Guy Valmont Racing, the Tigani car next. Paul Lucchitti's going to assume the race lead. He's got 3.5 seconds over Elliott Shute. Then it's Sergio Perez next and Mark Rosser in front. So Rosser, I think, has jumped Brad Schumacher too, who'll be behind them. Remember, they had that extra pit stop time. Rusty?
The release was awkward for Brad Schumacher as he endeavoured to move into the fast lane. The Merc that is shared between Oscar Target and Shane Smolin was already there. So Brad had to actually stop, pause, and let that Merc pass and dropped another spot as he rejoined.
And I think he's also come out behind Steve Brooks. So Brooks was the first one of the Pro-Am cars to stop, took over from Ryan Wood. He's up to 6th position now. So he's got ground and he's not that far behind Shane Smolin. So when they get past the line next time by, we'll cleanse the order for you. Stubbsy?
Just to update some of the other tyre decisions that were made, Oscar Target and Shane Smolin on the right-hand side, fresh rubber there. Likewise, Valentino Astuti and Darren Curry.
Good intel, thank you. Not surprised at the call for right-hand side tyres. These cars, this track, to get the AM drivers comfortable. So that was the leader. There's second and third. That's Elliott Shute, the West Aussie, who's graduated up from Radical Cup Racing, entering into his 3rd season in GT World Challenge now. Then it's Sergio Perez, who's actually had a bit of a run on the Ferrari as they run down towards turn 1. Second and third, so it's 5.3 seconds first to second. And then Mark Rosser up to 4th, the Team BRM Audi. It's 11 seconds off the race lead. Steve Brooks's 5th has got past Shane Smolin. So the Wolfbrook Audi now P5. Smolin is 6th. Brad Schumacher in 7th position, 28 seconds off the race lead. That's been costly. This is a move on the offing down the inside. Sergio Perez for 2nd place.
He'll just say, why didn't you do that earlier, Leachy? That easy down the inside.
How hard can it be? And now Tigani find themselves with cars 1st and 2nd. Paul Lucchitti leads the way. Perez up to 2nd place. Elliott Shute back to 3rd.
That was a great move. He set him up off turn 2. When the AM guys are getting into their rhythm, there's a really big opportunity if you can kind of get in the zone a bit faster than your competitor. So I think that's all that's happened there. He's just managed to probably tighten up the belts and go, this is it, and coming in and kept it nice and clean down the dirty side at turn 4, but pulled it up nicely and no contact made.
And nice driving from Shute as well. He moved the car across, but there was just a car width left for the big Y AMG to squeeze down the inside. So a good bit of racing between the two of them. Perez gets another spot. Lucchitti across the line, 129.3. Across the line goes Perez. So with a pass was a 130.1. So gave away 7/10 of a second to the race leader at 6.4 seconds, the leading margin. So that's actually helped Lucchitti last time by. Mark Ross has punched out at 29.3, so he was the quickest of the top 4 last time by. And there was a feeling of confidence down at BRM about the performance of car number 268 with Mark behind the wheel. And we'll see what that car can do chasing down the leaders. There's still plenty of time, 18 minutes to go in this race, plus change. Here's the Matt Stupas car leading the trophy class, having taken over from Paul Stokel. He's got quite a handy lead over Lee Stibbs, who's taken over the Valente Rosso Aston Martin AMR GT3. So now we get an indication of where these drivers sit in terms of their outright speed and what sort of lap times they can turn.
Lucchetti's he's doing a great job. That car's been fast all weekend, and he's just, I feel like he's just going to chip away at this stint. Doesn't have to do anything crazy, just keep it nice and controlled.
The Aston Martin, this car's been in Valente Rosso's hands for a couple of seasons now. It's had a couple of real workmanlike performances at the 12-hour. Raced last year by Liam Talbot in GT World Challenge Australia. Had some success, a couple of podium finishes the back half of the season. That's the leader. We'll pick up his teammate next. Last time by, Lucchitti was a 10th quicker than Sergio Perez. Elliott Shute matched the leaders. Mark Rosser was about 8/10 quicker than them.
We saw this yesterday. when he gets the eyes on, that Audi, that Castrol Audi, is flying around Phillip Island.
Greg Rust.
I'm in between both Ryan Wood and Thomas Randall, so we'll try and grab both of them here. Firstly, you okay, mate, with that opening to the race? Because Brooksy's got pace, and we know that car was going to be good today.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't seen what happened, but I thought I might as well go for it because I felt like we were probably a little bit out of our pure speed and qualifying, so a bit out of position. So I saw an opportunity, got a really good start, and yeah, whatever happened. So would like to see a replay and yeah, then go from there. But Brooksy's doing a good job. The car's fast, and yeah, we'll just see if we can bring it home.
Well, let's go over here because I think it's classic hits and memories with on the radio here for Thomas Randall. Hey, what have you been saying? And the boys have just been talking in commentary. It's good. This car's good.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, obviously we had the 5-second extra time in the stop, and just trying to coach Mark. I mean, he's doing a great job. So just try and fine tune a couple of things as we do in motorsport. But no, he's doing well. So to be fourth now after where we started, and that extra 5 seconds is really good. So hopefully, we can just make some good points and get the year off to a good start.
Yeah, what are the little things that you've perhaps seen here that you can perhaps guide and coach on that you're talking about?
Yeah, well, because we've got all the live telemetry, it's really good to be able to look at the way he's driving compared to what I was doing in the car. Entries or on your exits, those sorts which we can see in real time, but we just have to, you've got to time it when to tell the driver, because I know firsthand you don't want to be told anything while you're in the middle of a corner. So look at the year, we've got some good long straights, but yeah, also some positive reinforcement. That's really important as well.
Thank you, mate.
Cheers.
Thomas Randall, Ryan Wood, Greg Rust in pit lane. Yeah, it's got good speed at the moment, there's no doubt about it. Mark Rosser again basically matching the three cars in front last time, so the gap remained pretty consistent. The quickest driver last time round on the racetrack was Shane Smolin, to the tune of about 0.8 of a second. So currently sitting in 6th position at the moment, the number 56 car for Tigani, but with a lot of speed, the Sydney side are now behind the wheel. So he's 24 seconds off the race lead. So a race win without any help from safety cars. Anything else that might play out in this race might be out of the equation, but I wonder if he might be able to work his way up towards podium calculations by the end of this one. Certainly, if he can continue that car speed, he will do just that.
Shane always goes well at Phillip Island. What do we got going here, actually?
Matt Stupis is going quite slowly, that's what's going on. And he's about to be passed by Lee Stibbs.
That's a shame. They were having a great day.
Yeah, really solid start. In fact, he's dropped a lap back, so he's had some dramas somewhere earlier as well that's cost them a little bit of time there in the KFC Audi. So he's will try and get that car back to MPC. There are a couple of people in pit lane right now that wouldn't mind if that car just conveniently stopped on the racetrack to help them out in terms of the battle towards the end of this one. Rusty?
Mention on the grid about the boss of Lamborghini Squadra Porsche Asia Pacific being here, Alessio Girardi, and we thought we'd drop in and see how Tony D'Alberto and the team were going at Wall Racing this weekend. I know the car probably from a balance of performance perspective you weren't necessarily all that happy with, but how is it so far?
Yeah, we've definitely tuned it up over the weekend. It didn't roll out how we'd like, and then obviously really variable conditions yesterday for everyone, really tricky. You know, you'd think you'd be going out on slicks and then it'd rain, and really hard to get that right and get tyre pressures correct. So probably starting a little bit further back than like we'd like today. But the car was pretty solid then. We moved forward in the race, and I was hanging on the back of some really good operators there. So it's nice to make some improvements in the car. We've still got a little bit to go though.
Well, quickly, do you get into kind of coaching mode now? Do you help Adrian Dietz a little bit with things that you might see in this back end of the race?
He coaches me, mate.
Does he? Thank you, mate.
He's got a career as a stand-up if he wants one, Tony D. It's good for a quit. And the Audi's made it back to pit lane, so seek some service from Melbourne Performance Centre right at the end of pit lane. So Tigani breathed a sigh of relief because there's no safety car. Everyone else goes, would be nice. Regardless, they'll have to do it the old-fashioned way. Still 6.2 seconds the margin for Paul Lucchini out in front.
You could just watch a GT3 car around Phillip Island all day long. and especially the Mercedes GT3 AMG.
Sorry, Nick, let's get to Chris Stubbs quickly.
Yeah, the KFC car is in the lane now, as you can possibly see, and it's stuck in gear, stuck in first. So a shifter issue there, which is a shame because they were trucking along quite nicely.
Thanks, Stubbsy. The team will go to work. A lot of experience down there at MPC. Championship winning squad. More than one occasion, they've been flying the Audi flag for well over a decade. If anyone can fix it, it's them. You were saying about how good these cars are to watch here, and you're spot on. Just so awesome that the corner speed that gets you the most, I think, through the high-speed stuff at a racetrack like this. It shows you the massive capabilities of these cars. There's a battle brewing a little bit further back too, by the way, for 5th, 6th and 7th. And we're talking, gone around Shane Smollen. We were just about to talk about this, and he's in the gravel trap, and I don't think it's driving out. And that will be the safety car. Ironically, it's a Tigani car stuck, and it is going to be painful for the cars that are 1st and 2nd in this race that are his teammates. We were just about to touch on the fact this was a huge battle that was brewing with Steve Brooks and Brad Schumacher. And as we cut to it, it all blows up. So side by side, Southern Loop, and the Wade replay.
It's hard to read. It looks like Brad's managed to get up the inside at turn 2, but when they went past our commentary box, they were borderline 3 wide. That's why I was frantically looking out the window. So it looks like Brad's managed to sneak it up the inside, and unfortunately for Shane, if he's up in the grey or the marbles, it's very easy to lose control of your GT3 car.
Let's go to Rusty. He's got Oscar Target.
These are the tough ones to tackle, Kralsey. You more or less had your head in your hands there a moment ago, didn't you?
Yeah, it's pretty disappointing. He was sort of in a position there where he looks like he was going to get past the 88 and probably get away. He's the fastest AM on track by quite a bit, and then get turned around and put in the gravel. So pretty disappointing.
Thanks, Oscar.
Thank you.
Well, it's a stout performance from them. We have got safety car as expected. So the BMW safety car's on the circuit, and Paul Lucchini sees 6.5 seconds disappear into thin air and ends up with his teammate parked on his bumper bar, and it brings Elliot Shute into the mix. And for BRM, it brings Mark Rosser into the mix as well. He's been pretty speedy. And also that massive disadvantage for Brad Schumacher that they lost in the pit stop.
Yes.
All of a sudden, he's in the fight now.
Because Brad and Shane Smollen, who we see in the gravel trap here, were actually the 2 fastest on the track by a margin. They were mid to low 28s, and the leaders were mid to low 29s. So they were coming very, very quickly. So they're not going to have a lot of time. You know, there's only 9 minutes remaining in the race. So Brad will have the elbows out, no doubt, trying to get back through. But the Castrol car for Team BRM and Thomas Randall and Mark Rosser, that's got really good speed as well. So there's a bit to play out here.
Yeah, there is. It will all box on from this point onwards. And another speedy recovery from our Ranger Raptor recovery vehicle.
They've done a great job all weekend with the recovery.
Yeah, they've been outstanding today, haven't they? And Smollen will be able to drive that car back. Would imagine they'll go to pit lane just to check it over and make sure there's no, in particular, debris caught up in the radiator and brake ducts of this car. Race Control's going to have a look at that again. Hard to tell from that side-by-side shot as they're going through.
Shane does the right thing. Well, he's tried to brake on the inside of the circuit to not spray the place with rocks, but unfortunately, that's what happens when you find yourself in the gravel trap at Phillip Island. You're normally going quite fast when you're in there, and there's rocks everywhere. They'll be pulling rocks out of that car for weeks. They just, somehow, every crevice, there'll be rocks.
Written, authorised and spoken by J&D Racing team co-owner Nick Percat, who's probably done that, the rock cleaning job.
Personally have done it,
yes.
And I have recently cleaned them out of one of our 86s, so...
Well, and they've only got half the aero appendages. Actually, they don't. Half. They've probably got 2% of the aero appendages these things have got.
I think my hire car's got more on the way back to the airport.
There are many crevices for rocks to end up in a GT3 car. Lots of carbon fibre to scratch. Rusty?
I'm with Jaden Ojeda, and I just thought, I know you're busy on the radio talking with Paul. What's he saying at the moment?
Yeah, he was in the zone, so we saw a slow Audi on track, and we were hoping for no safety car, but it was unfortunate that our team car got caught up there with the Audi. So it's going to make it a nail-biting finish, which we're hoping we could just cruise to the finish. Paul was doing a really good job, but he's going to have to earn his keep today.
Has there been a conversation within the team about just trying to sort of hold position, and are you looking over literally at the wall at Brendan Leach here?
For sure, we're teammates, but these boys have to have fun. They're racing for themselves, but for sure we want to secure a 1-2 team finish. So yeah, we'll see what the boys have got in store. It's definitely more nerve-wracking being on this side than when you're driving.
Okay, finally, before I let you go, is there a threat from behind, or you think you've got it covered, these two cars?
No, I think we're racing.
Good on you.
I think we're racing. The message from team management will be race, but the last thing we want is that red Ferrari or the two Audis in behind to sail past and take advantage of those two battling on too hard for the race lead. They are in a great position right now, Tagani, with their two Mercedes AMGs. The pressure is on for Paul Lucitti. He's only been racing these cars for a couple of seasons, started in 2023, had success in the 3-hour enduro in this car with Jaden Ojeda. Their first championship win was last year at the Bend, which was a mighty drive, and that was Paul Lucitti holding on with searing pressure. So he's got priors. He knows he can do this, but he has not been racing for a long time. Sergio Perez, the Sydney sider, long time now, celebrating his 10th year in GT racing in Australia. So he has got miles under his belt. He has been very speedy this weekend as well. We were watching a practice session earlier in the weekend, and the car popped up the top of the timing sheets, and we thought, oh, good luck, Brendan Leach. Turned out it was Sergio Perez who did the time. So he has been spectacular. And then Elliott Chute is right in the fight too in that Ferrari, which has looked racy all weekend long. And then possibly the quickest of the top four is the car in 4th place. Yep. Castrol Team BRM. Good recovery, Steve Brooks. Brad Schumacher looking for championship points. The man from Bathurst is pretty smart when it comes to this kind of scenario. He'll know how to play this. They got the win yesterday, maximum points. He's 6 now. If he can walk away from today with a 4th or a 5th, that's going to be a really good start to their championship campaign.
I'm excited for it because we saw Sergio's happy to go down the inside when there's only a small gap. But like you said, I'm sure they're being told to keep it sensible, but he's clearly here to win it. So we'll see how we go on this restart. We don't want any more safety cars, but I'm hoping for some serious battles out there.
Safety car is in the pit entry lane. It's now up to Paul Lucitti to pick the point at which he puts all of that Mercedes AMG firepower to the ground and leads his teammate back to green. There it is. The standard point to do so at Phillip Island, and it's worked a treat. Back to green flag racing with 4 minutes left in race 2 of GT World Challenge Australia. And right up to 250k before turn 1. Half looking down the inside was Brock Feeney on Steve Brooks. It's Brock Feeney's car. It's Brad Schumacher behind the wheel. Just had half a little look there with a good restart for the number 1 Audi. Shaw and Partners and Kelso Electrical Team MPC. Great restart, Lucitti, though. Done exactly what he needed to do and pulled that margin on his teammate.
Yeah, couldn't have got any better for him. He's cleared out. Oh, we got one up the inside.
Schumacher had a big look down there at turn 4. He didn't quite get the move done.
Like I said, very good restart. It's the hardest thing to do around here is to lose the zone you're in and to get straight back to it.
Stubbsy in the lane.
Thought it was timely to jump in with Jackson Evans. Elliott's out there in 3rd place trying to hold on to a podium. Safety car came at a nice time for you.
Yeah, I'd say so. Obviously pretty chaotic at the pit stop time there for Elliott, and unfortunately lost a little bit of time on that outlap, but still in a podium spot. So it's always sort of nice when you're in that position to have a safety car to stabilise things, regather your thoughts, and hopefully you can either hang on or move forward to a couple of positions.
Good luck.
Cheers. Thank you.
They currently sit in 3rd place as they start their redemption drive this year. Oh, I'll tell you what, Brad Schumacher's had a pretty handy run just behind this shot on Steve Brooks. The two Audis battling on for 5th and 6th place. Didn't quite get a move done at turn 1. Brooks continues to hold on. The man from Christchurch, South Island of New Zealand. Elliott Shute, tail end of the Ferrari wagging down at the Southern Loop. And Mark Russell looking really racy. Lucchini's got 0.8 on Perez, 1 and 2. The Mercs hold form at the front with Elliott Shute trying to chase them down.
I think the moves are going to be the battle for third, and then if Brad can clear Brooks, but it's very difficult when you're going up against the same manufacturer of car. You've got the same strengths, the same weaknesses, but it looks like Mark is, you know, he's got the eyes on and putting a lot of pressure on the back of this Ferrari. So
the walk away with a double podium would be a huge result, especially after the extra pit stop time that they had to carry after third place yesterday. 5 seconds longer than the car in front. Carried lots of speed over Lukey Heights, and I wonder if half thought about sending it down there at MG. Yeah. Bigger moves than that have been done at this venue this weekend. Just very wide on the exit of that final quarter, and then they tip in a ridiculous amount of speed and carry it through that final corner onto Gardner Straight. Smidge under 270 kilometres an hour as they get to this point before they run down towards turn 1. And then a lift and a reset and back on it into the Southern Loop. Schumacher still caught up behind Steve Brooks. He has not opened the door for the champ to come through. So holding on to 5th place, making good for all that work Ryan Wood did after the off at turn 1 at the very start of the race. The Wolf Rocket Audi continues to hold on. And this is a nice drive from Steve Brooks. All of the leading cars still in the same shot, less than 5 seconds back, and Smollen's off the road again in car 56, back down in 12th position now.
Brooks is using a lot of track to keep Brad Schumacher at bay here. I feel like if Brad bides his time and stays this close, it could be a little opening with a little bit of a mistake, but I wonder if these two go, we're driving the cars that Brock Feeney and Ryan Wood are in, and we take the battle the same.
Exactly. That's a good point you make. Yeah. It is the two bitter rivals in supercars since the grand final last year. Well, it's their co-drivers carrying on the fight. I love that. And they're battling for 5th and 6th position, ironically, where these two cars started the race. They've had different pathways to get back to this position. Well, if he's going to make a move, Brad Schumacher, it's going to need to be soon. The clock's ticked past 0. And when it starts counting up, there's not much racing to go. The final stages of this one. What a drive from Paul Lucchini. He's got 2.1 seconds over Sergio Perez, but the fight is on for 3rd and 4th. The battle is on for 5th and 6th place. Oh, a little bit wide, Brooks. It opens the door. Schumacher walks right through it and gets 5th place.
It didn't take much of an invitation, did it? He was straight up the inside, and you could see the pressure was mounting on Brooks. And here we go, Ross up inside.
Rosser,
oh God.
Rosser with a massive dive, and it didn't work, and cannons into the side of Sergio Perez and takes the Mercedes AMG out of the race. It was deep, it was really deep, and in the end it was too deep. Big contact, Perez out of 2nd is gone. It leaves Lucchini out in front. The Ferrari's going to be 2nd. And through all that, Brad Schumacher is going to end up in 3rd place. What a dramatic conclusion to this one. Serenely out in front, though, from pole position. Anchored brilliantly, as you expect from the Juice, Jaden Ojeda. But Paul Lucchini is going to win his 2nd championship race in GT World Challenge Australia. This has been a huge drive, and it's a win for Mercedes AMG at Phillip Island.
Drove exceptionally well. Handled the restart perfectly. Great speed. And to be honest, all weekend he's been a really, really solid combo with Jaden Ojeda. So well done to the Move My Wheels team. But we'll be getting a replay of what's happened at turn 4 here.
Will. That was big. That was really big. Elliott Shute and Jackson Evans 2nd. Brad Schumacher, Brock Feeney 3rd, backing up their result yesterday. Here it is.
So he's down the inside, but it's very dirty. And clearly he's misjudged it. He's broken too late, which is very, very easy thing to do. When you come down the inside, you lose your normal braking markers, but great to see Sergio getting out the car. He's obviously fit and healthy still as he closes the door of his Mercedes-Benz, but tough for these guys. You know, like you said earlier, he's come out this weekend and thrown some laps down that we thought was actually LIQUI, so that's a massive shame for them.
4th place yesterday, DNF today, costly in the championship. Race control has noted that, and we'll rumble on after the race. That big dive down the inside, so it's Marc Rosser into Sergio Perez. He won't be classified at the end of that one. Rosser crossed the line in 6th place at the end, remarkably, despite all of that. Here are the provisional results from that one. What a drive, though. Paul Lucchini, take nothing away from the Tigani drivers out in front. Ferrari, really good championship points to kick off their season for Jackson Evans and Elliott Shute. Brock Feeney and Brad Schumacher 3rd. Wood and Brooks started on the 3rd row, dropped to the back of the grid after an off at turn 1 and ended up back in 4th place at the end of that. Valentino Astudi and Darren Curry, another outstanding drive by that duo to end up in 5th place for Team MPC. Randall and Rosser in 6th place at the end. Buchanan and Campbell came back to 7th. Hunt and Emery, Alberto Dietz, Alex Gardner and Lee Stibbs round out the top 10 and claim the Trophy Cup victory as well. And after a late off, Shane Smollen ultimately recovered to 11th position after that stout drive with Oscar Target. They're still going to have a look at that. They're still going to have a look at that contact at the Southern Loop, I think, as well. We saw earlier where Smollen spun on the outside in that battle pack, and we've just heard 40-second penalty, car 268, contact with car 44 at turn 4. So a lot of numbers there. Car 268 is Marc Rosser, 40-second penalty with car 44, which is Sergio Perez. So they've been pretty quick at laying down the law in result of that one. And it drops Rosser to 10th position at the end of that race.
It is amazing. You called it on the restart that Brad Schumacher has an ability to find himself in the right position at the right time of the race and finds himself on the podium. Obviously, helping hand, but kept it clean. Obviously, there's maybe a little bit of investigation over the Smollen incident, but far out, he's very good at getting himself back to the front.
Yeah, he really is. It's why they won the championship last year. And this championship, the format, the Pro-Am format, where you've got the professional driver driving with the part-timers, the AM drivers, they don't do this for a living. It's the AM driver that wins the title. Because all of the pros are pretty evenly matched, but it's the AM that does the job in the end. Stout drive, a solid performance from the Ferrari team. ARGT there didn't quite have the car speed, did they? But in the end, again, accumulated points and Shute did the business in the end.
Like, they've had a great weekend, really. They've on the podium today, massive result yesterday, and like you said, we head to Tailem Bend, where the Ferrari's very, very strong. So that's a very mature weekend from the Evans entry there.
Promising stuff, and the championship leader going into round 2. That'll be the championship leader that came into round 1 with a 1st and a 3rd. Brad Schumacher and Brock Feeney will lead the World Challenge points going into the next round. I love a debrief. We need a cool-down room in GT World Challenge. Our version of a cool-down room is a chat with Greg Rust.
Just waiting for Paul to grab the helmet off. We'll dive in and have a word with Jaden Ojeda there. I guess from a team perspective, that's bittersweet, but it's fantastic for you guys in the same breath.
Yeah, I had my head in my hands watching the 44 car get taken out like that. It was such a shame. And then, I realised we were going to win the race, and you're happy, but for sure bittersweet. You know, it sucks to see cars go out like that, especially when it's our team car and good friend, so it's really unfortunate.
Let's clear, just before we go and have a chat with him, give a shout to this guy. It's not the first time you guys have worked together to have some success like that. He's delivered today, hasn't he?
Yeah, for sure. You know, he was doing an awesome job before the safety car, similar to Tailem Bend, you know, just managing the race, and, you know, he was doing super good lap times and just driving his fastest race. And then the pressure came of the safety car, but he handled it like a boss, which is awesome, and, you know, showing how far he's really come.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that sort of sentiment. How did that feel, and what were you thinking on the restart? Because it looked like you you nailed it.
Oh yeah, that's it was definitely a concern when the safety car came out, but you know, I've been walked through it plenty of times now, and yeah, we just had a crack at it and got away, and here we are.
Good on you. What does that one mean at a great place like this, with this guy, with this outfit?
Oh, it's a great. I'm so happy to win here. I come to this track quite a bit for other reasons, but yeah, doing it with juice, it's yeah, something to remember.
Good on you. Congrats, Paul. We look forward to that podium. That's going to be a sweet one for you. Let's go to Jackson Evans if we can, and the boys. I mean, at one point there, we weren't certain that it was going to be a second. That was a pretty crazy end to the race, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I guess some pretty good heads-up driving from Elliott, looking in the mirrors, and you know, it's unfortunate to see the guys in the Merc get taken out, but you know, we're in a podium spot. Elliott did a good job on the restart, and you know, to take one more spot on those chances, you sort of have to every now and then.
Yeah, absolutely. On days like this, you know, and the way this championship is from a compressed perspective, that's what you got to do, don't you?
Yeah, it feels super competitive, and Jack's did a really good job to keep up with the other cars, which seem really, really fast. But yeah, I'm just glad that we survived that last lap.
Love it to see the smile, mate. Congratulations.
Thank you, Chief.
All right, let's dive over here. Brad Schumacher has, I think they said in commentary, kind of seems to find himself in the perfect position, but in the same respect, you build that, you set that, you guys, and you make the most of it if it does unfold.
Yeah, it was obviously one of those races where we started a little bit behind after qualifying, and then with a 15-second success penalty, obviously we had a lot of work to do. But yeah, I was running my fastest race laps all weekend in that stint. The car felt great. Can't thank the team enough for what they gave us, and a little bit of luck our way as well. And here we are on the podium again.
You have had a great weekend on balance, Brock, haven't you, for this team for the start of the title defence?
Yeah, it's fantastic, Rusty. This has been our toughest track for this year and last year, to be honest. So Marty and the crew made a pretty big change overnight, and the thing was a rocket ship. So to hang on to these guys at the start was awesome. And this fella, as always, raises the bar and sort of stayed out a bit of that chaos. And to finish on a podium, like, I think it's going to be really hard to get 2 podiums in a weekend this year. There's so many competitive cars. So stoked. Obviously, great way to kick off the year, and yeah, we're excited to get the ball rolling.
We saw that they gave him a nice set of tyres down the working side of that car. Did that mean you could kind of use them before the pit stop?
Yeah, exactly. It was the plan all along. Obviously, it's a really hot day here, and the Audi around here really uses the tyres up. So yeah, I let it loose, and then yeah, obviously Brad takes a couple of laps to get up to speed with those cold tyres. But once he did, yeah, he was the quickest by a decent chunk. So stoked. Roll on, tail and bend.
Saturday or Sunday in Victory Lane, got to be good. Well done, boys. Congratulations.
There's Greg Rust down in Victory Lane, the Shannons Speed Series, and LIQUI MOLY GT Festival here at Phillip Island, and some good chats there. I love hearing from the AM drivers. They're so excited as we have a look at the Maguire's race highlights from race 2 of GT World Challenge. Excitement from the outset as it was on Saturday. Keep an eye on the Ryan Wood Audi. It's the one on the right of screen, sending it the long way around the outside, and then a little bit too far off into the tumbleweeds out there, and also off was Will Davison in behind.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's made the outside work this weekend in any category. We saw the McLaren going for a spin there as well, but this one, I'm not 100% sure how we've ended up through the gravel in the background of turn 3.
They recovered to 6th position in the end, though, so great comeback for Josh Buchan and Cameron Campbell. The pros then just settled down and boxed on as they did at the front of the field. This was a race-ending little contact there for Will Davison, and Rene Gracie, unfortunately, broken steering by the looks of it in their Ferrari. Ryan Wood was on the comeback trail, so that was how he made sure Valentino Astudi wasn't going to come back at him on the exit of turn 4. And then a moment from Brendan Leach opened the door for Brock Feeney for just a moment. He tried to have a look there, but the defence was resolute. This was really close.
This was seriously close. The thing was actually cranked sideways under brakes there. He's done a massive job to pull it up and actually not speed in pit lane. But this was a great move down the inside to secure at that point, the 1-2 for the team.
Yeah, second place at that point. This one will be discussed post-race with Brad Schumacher and Shane Smollen. They were battling over 6th position at the time. Smollen ended up in the gravel trap at the Southern Loop, brought out the safety car. It was only a quick little period, and it reset the field with everyone tightly packed. And the run to the flag, then on the final lap, down the inside for Team BRM. Big contact with Sergio Perez, Mark Rosser in the Audi. He would get a 40-second penalty for his work. Untroubled out in front first win of the year after a DNF yesterday for Paul LIQUI and Jaden Ojeda. Let's go and celebrate that one, shall we? Greg Rust has the podium.
Richard, thank you. Let's get that podium presentation underway for race 2 of the 2026 GT World Challenge Australia, powered by AWS at round 1 here at Phillip Island. Delighted to welcome to present the trophies today, Mr. Dirk van Heer on behalf of Rover. Please welcome the top 3 place cars and drivers from the Pro-Am class. In 3rd place today for Kelso Electrical Team MPC, how about it, Brad Schumacher, Brock Feeney? Why don't we send our 2nd place drivers in while those 3rds are being collected. Ladies and gentlemen, Jackson Evans and Elliott Shute. How about it? From Arise Racing GT, of course. Lovely stuff. And your winning combination on Sunday afternoon. They'll be thrilled about it too by Move My Wheels, Tagani Motorsport, Jaden Ojeda, Paul LIQUI. Memorable afternoon here at Phillip Island. Some special trophies to celebrate. We'll capture the moment here as well. We've got some nice champagne ready for them at their feet. That, ladies and gentlemen, if you will please put your hands together, is your GT World Challenge Australia, powered by AWS Pro-Am winners. Drivers, time for the celebrations. Nicely covered, lots of champagne there. We do get to reset and do another podium here, and that is for our trophy class winners. We'll bring that winning combo off. We'll get our top 3 in Pro-Am to just politely depart the podium. Thank you, drivers. Well done. Thank you, everybody, for being so generous there in your applause. Let's get things underway. Your podium presentation now for race 2 of the 2026 GT World Challenge Australia, powered by AWS. Round 1 here at Phillip Island, but this one is for the trophy class. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please make welcome your winners in class from Volante Rosso Motorsport, Alex Gardner and Lee Stibbs. You can go straight to the top of the dais there, guys. Big smiles. It's a good moment. Ladies and gentlemen, they're your GT World Challenge Australia, powered by AWS trophy class winners. Drivers, the podium is yours. Let's head back to Richard with that champagne spray underway.
Beauty. Thanks, Rusty. Nice work. The celebration's underway in GT World Challenge Australia, powered by AWS, but the action does not stop there. A short break. After it, the Ferraris are on the racetrack, and then some Porsches as well. Don't go anywhere from the Shannons Speed Series.
We're at Phillip Island and I found myself in the best seat in the house. I'm in a race car, I'm in the Track Racer TR160. We're about to cut a lap here. Aim is to keep it on the black stuff. And you know what? I'm going to show the real racing car drivers how it's done. So, Phillip Island.